Good afternoon. I want to add to what Major Riddle and Major Burton have been briefing you on throughout today. We certainly have had multiple shots fired at our officers at this scene, at least 2 different occasions. That's very concerning. I will say that you may have heard some other shots. That was our SWAT team deploying gas. Our officers did not return fire. They did not return fire because we believe that there was a small child inside, which was the case after we cleared the area. Let me just say this. From the beginning, this has been a very complicated situation. It's been a very complex situation. We had to make sure that we evacuated apartment buildings. We locked down schools in the area. We worked with Lawrence Township as well. Lawrence PD was involved heavily, and it was also complicated by the fact that we had a violent offender inside a home with a high-powered rifle and an individual that had a small child inside. Fortunately, patience was on our side. We were able to continue to try to talk to this individual, work through some of the issues that he was having today. As a result, he did surrender safely, but that event in itself was complicated by the fact that he came out with a child in his arm during that surrender. Our SWAT team continued to talk to him with our negotiators. Fortunately for us, we were able to resolve this peacefully. We were concerned about the child because of the gas. We did check with a physician to make sure that this was not a life and death situation, deploying gas in this area to make sure the child was okay. That child has been sent to the hospital with police escort at this time. We believe the child will have a full recovery from the gas that was inhaled at the scene. At this time, this individual has an outstanding warrant for recklessness with a deadly weapon where he threatened to kill his girlfriend. He will certainly have some additional charges that will be forthcoming by working with the prosecutor's office, and I will confirm today that this is our main suspect in the shooting of our 2 police substations. We are going to bring charges with the prosecutor for that action as well. At least in one of those shootings, we believe that he intentionally targeted 2 police officers inside, and we're going to be requesting attempted murder charges for that action. This time, any questions?
Is this man also charged with murder in Zionsville?
That'll be up to the Zionsville PD to brief you on their investigation. I will say that this has been a very collaborative effort with the good friends in Zionsville, but also our federal partners and our state partners as well. And let me just tell you some of the issues today because of such a large investigation. Very good communications between all the entities involved, and I'd also want to give a great deal of thanks to the Indiana State Police. We had another SWAT situation that was developing, and they took that call for us so we could focus our attention here.
What does it mean?
We will give you the name here briefly. That'll come through our PO office. We want to make sure we're working with Zionsville at the time.
What does it mean to have the person who randomly shot at 2 districts, not knowing who was inside, and really, as you pointed out, was an attack on law enforcement?
It was an attack on law enforcement. It's an attack on the city. We represent this city, and our concern from the very beginning was this individual would continue these acts. We had reason to believe he would, and we were certainly geared up for that through some of the safety protocols that we had taken. But we were also very concerned that this individual may take his violent nature out on the streets and attack citizens as well. So we were very concerned. We've been working diligently. I can't say enough for our officers, our detectives, and I can't say enough for our SWAT negotiators today.
What about the lack for life? He was shooting at people in a crowded apartment complex with 160 units. He could have injured someone today beyond police today.
Well, that's one of the reasons we were so concerned. A lack of respect for life. It's something that we've seen in this incident. Quite frankly, it's something we see once in a while throughout the city, far too often. That's why we're working so much on the social issues that are leading to crime in our community. But let me just say today, I think our detectives and our officers, especially those SWAT officers, acted bravely. They put themselves in harm's way. They did not return fire, mostly because they knew that there was a young child inside. And at the end of the day, we were able to get the person we were focused on, place him under arrest, work with his family. But we've also been able to retrieve that child and return that to loved ones as well. I will say this, we are going to be reaching out to the family, especially this young mother, to see if there are any social needs that she has over the next few days.
What's his relationship to the child?
I believe they have a child in common between, so I believe this is going to be his child. We still have to confirm that, though.
What did he say to police? What did police say to him to end this peacefully?
I don't know that this time, but I can tell you that our negotiators have been working very hard from the very beginning, establishing a rapport with him, having a conversation, and making sure that he understood we did not want to take his life. And even though he was very aggressive, had made very distinct comments that he was willing to take the life of a police officer, threaten numerous police officers. They showed great restraint, and at the end of the day, we're able to put him in custody and do this the right way by prosecuting him fully in a court of law.
What connected him to the IMPD headquarters shootings to that tragedy?
That's going to be in the probable cause statement. Since that has been released, I'm not going to get into the details. We'll let that be forthcoming with legal documents at the appropriate time.
Chief, you showed some restraint.
An arrest warrant when the shooting started?
The officers had an arrest warrant. We were here, but quite frankly, we were here because we had an arrest warrant, but we were also here because he's our main suspect in the police substation shootings.
Chief, you showed restraint, but where is that line? Because he was putting your officers in jeopardy. He could have shot at an individual. Can you explain to the public why not just end it? Because you had the manpower and you had the firepower, why not shoot him dead?
We did. We certainly had the firepower to go in and have a firefight at that time, but at that point you're endangering our officers' lives. But let's not forget we have what we believe a 7-month-old baby, completely innocent inside, and I think that our SWAT officers show great restraint. If they had made the decision to move it at that point, they would have had the legal right to do so, but in their hearts, I believe that they thought their moral obligation was to do everything possible to not only protect themselves, but protect that young child inside.
Did you have any of his family come and try to talk him out as well?
No, we had made a discussion about that, but through our training and looking at the history of that has not worked very well in other situations. So that was not something that we deployed as a tactic. I'm not to say we wouldn't have, but we were too early in it. But we did make a decision early on, because the information we were getting back, not thinking the child was in danger, that we didn't think he would kill the child, that we were going to be as a patient, and we were willing to stay as long as possible to have a peaceful resolution. We will make sure we brief you all further as we get additional information. Thank you.
Chief.